Yo, guys, what you saying? You already know who it is. It is RPC, otherwise known as Sweet Tooth, otherwise known as the Sonic Scholar. Guys, today I just got back from watching the Sonic the Hedgehog film numero dos, and I'm feeling great because that was sweet, like sauteed cinnamon toast. You already know what I'm saying, bro. Guys, I can't believe they made a Sonic film. They made not like the first one, because obviously the first one is iconic for being one of the last big films before the lockdown happened. I personally, as a long time Sonic fan, have been watching Sonic since I was 3. I'm like 22 or so now. But for that one, I felt it was more like a family film, just something to introduce people to the character. And while I feel like they really spun that movie around, the story behind that film was great. Like, remember how the first design, it looked like one fried monkey, and then they brought it around. Tyson Hess really revitalized the character, made him recognizable as the Sonic that we all know and love. The story behind that film was great, but this one, numero dos. Oh yes, the film with the most. This is what I would call the Sonic film. All the iconography is there. The Chaos Emeralds, Dr. Robotnik, flipping Knuckles, Tails, all the characters that we've known and loved are here, and they've really, this film. What I feel like the crux of this film is it just brings out how good these characters, how solid these characters are. No matter which situation you put them in, they're always lovable and they're always enjoyable to watch on screen. Guys, I also just want to mention this is going to be a spoiler review / reaction. I'm just getting out my first initial thoughts because I keep saying this, like, they made a Sonic film, like, not just, oh, this is a film with Sonic in it like the first one was. No, this is a Sonic film. And to properly explain that, let's just get straight into it. Dr. Eggman on a mushroom planet, aka Mushroom Hill Zone, from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Oh my gosh, I feel it's like really interesting that they used that, as the introduction to both this kind of like otherworldly aspect that they're bringing in of this Sonic film. In the classic games, that was like quite a huge aspect of it. Sonic's world was like implied to be very unexplored, and they've done a really good job with allowing Eggman to just kind of wash up on this planet after the events of the first film. I really enjoyed seeing Dr. Robotnik's ingenuity, in no matter which incarnation of this character. They always are sure to bring out his ingenuity, and Dr. Robotnik, making the tools and the doohickeys out of all of the mushroom planets, going kind of like full mad scientist, allowing his beard to go out into the iconic, silhouette that we know and love. It was just really entertaining to watch. Jim Carrey does a phenomenal job of encapsulating this character. I wouldn't even say he's encapsulating the character from watching it, because me personally, I know a lot of older people, they already know Jim Carrey to be like quite a reliable actor and like quite an enjoyable guy to watch on screen. But I never watched any of his older movies, so to me he was just like this guy who's zany for just being zany's sake. But no, I understand the hype now. This guy was Eggman. Like, I just felt like I was just watching Eggman on the screen. The way he kept like after he was licking Sonic's spine that he had from the last film. That was so entertaining to watch. Like, he really did his job. He really encapsulated the heart of the character, both intelligent and unpredictable, narcissistic. Every aspect of Dr. Eggman, he really kind of got the whole scope of that egg. And then another part I saw that I really enjoyed was when the intruders came to the mushroom planet. That was when we actually got to see Eggman not only being comical in what he's able to do with his intelligence, but also dangerous and intimidating. The way he wiped out those 3 hunter like aliens that came onto his planet was really interesting. I also liked in that scene, it seemed like they were mixing both CGI and practical effects, and it looked really good. It kind of looked like how early Star Wars looked, and I enjoyed that part. I just wanted to say that. And then after Dr. Eggman uses the mushroom planet to wipe those guys out, who else other than Knuckles, Echidna. That's what I'm representing. Never seen a my house fit like a minute. Knuckles was intimidating in this film, guys. Yo, he was so big. I watched it with some of my siblings, actually. My sister was, the first thing she noticed was like, why is he so big? Like, Knuckles was just looking big. Like, he looked like, I don't know what the name of that dog is. You know that dog that kind of like looks like a wolf? I'll put like a video, I'll put like a picture of it in the video. He looked like one of those. He was so intimidating looking. And Idris Elba, my British brother, African brother, he really brought out both a new and revitalized kind of aspect to Knuckles. We know Knuckles as being like from kind of like an Aztec clan in the games, because that's what the Echidna tribe is actually based on. But here, I kind of felt more African vibes from it, because even from his voice, Knuckles was like, Eggman, where did you find that ring? Bring me to where you found that ring, and I'll show my powers. And that's how the events of the film start off. Dr. Eggman and Knuckles form a pact and head off back to Earth using Knuckles' rings, which he has, to go and find Sonic. I also really, another note I wanted to mention is I like how all the Sonic characters seem to have rings, even though they seem to be implied like they're coming from different planets. Well, Sonic and Knuckles come from the same planet because, as we'll find out later on in the film, but Tails apparently comes from a different planet. But anyways, I'm getting a bit too far ahead of myself. Next scene, we go to Sonic, you know, doing his Blue Justice thing is what he's calling himself now. You know, in this incarnation of Sonic, I can appreciate he's kind of like a kid. Usually when we see Sonic, he's what's known as a flat character. He already know who he is and what he can do and how to manage all of those things as well. The main point of Sonic is to bring inspiration in other people. And I mean, aspects of that character are still here, but it is actually, you can see that they're going more with kind of like the shonen protagonist, not shonen protagonist, but like, you know, they're following the kid grow up rather than the guy is already the guy. Like Sonic is usually the guy, but here he's growing and becoming that. And I kind of appreciate that about this incarnation of the character. You know, he's having quite a lot of fun now, knowing that nobody can stop him, especially in the human world. He kind of is just doing whatever, stopping petty crime, but like also having fun at the same time. It kind of reminds me of myself, because I come from like a small town, and because Sonic's powers are so vast, even as big as that city is, you can see he's kind of like uncomfortable not being able to do what he wants to do. He likes to make a show. He likes to be flamboyant with what he's doing, but as we see, it kind of causes a lot of trouble for people living in the city because his powers are too immense. So he could really end up hurting people. Like, for example, when the bomb was in the van, instead of him to just like press on the brakes, he couldn't find the brakes. So he went like a really convoluted way about doing things, and he used his speed to undo the entire van to stop it before it hit that little kid in front of the ice cream truck. Very comical. I really appreciated how animated the characters were in this film. It really didn't feel like they were forcing the live action. They're understanding that Sonic is a cartoon character or a fairy character, like the character's creator Naruto Oshima has mentioned before, and I kind of like that aspect of the bringing that to it. It kind of felt like I was watching Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I can't lie. Also, I really like the scene where the bomb went into the sewers and then it kind of made like all of the fire hydrants like extinguish up. I know that's supposed to be like a reference to Sonic Adventures opening or when Perfect Chaos comes up, and I really liked all those small details that the directors like Jeff Fowler put into this film. These guys this is kind of like a love letter. Like, this is the Sonic film. The other one is a Sonic film, but this was the Sonic film, and I really appreciate all of the effort that they put into it. The following scene demonstrates Sonic coming back after his long heroing hours and coming back into his humble abode. He's still living with Tom and his wife. Sorry, I've forgotten her name, but the actress is just absolutely, like, the both of them, they're really, really good actors, and I really appreciate them, especially the female actor. Fine girl, no pimples. Wow. Black Queen, we appreciate you. Looking after Sonic. God bless. But anyways, he's come back now. He's kind of like living a double life. You know, he doesn't want Tom and Maddie, I believe her name was actually, to get worried about him for living this double life. He's heroing on the side while he's pretending to be a good boy at home. It's very funny seeing Sonic kind of domesticated like that, because I mean, in some of the original Japanese manuals, I actually read, I actually watched a YouTube video by this YouTuber called Pariah just a couple of days ago, and he was explaining the actual real original character details for Sonic. And he's supposed to be a free spirit. He sleeps where he wants, he does what he wants, he doesn't really have a home. So seeing him domesticated like this is interesting. I have my few gripes about that, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, in the beginning of the film, he's dealing with this. Later on, Tom and Sonic have a conversation on the boat. Sonic is falling asleep because he's always out at night doing hero stuff instead of being in home like a good boy sleep. He falls into the ocean and Tom has to save him, and he has to have a conversation with him about being responsible. He kind of basically give him, you know, the classic "with great power comes great responsibility" talk. Only what he says is, because Sonic in this film is really obsessed with the idea of being a hero because of his powers, but Tom is here to say to Sonic that being a hero doesn't just mean being able to take care of yourself, but also being able to take responsibility for others. And it's quite a good message. I like the way they've put that, and Sonic has to learn that throughout the course of the film. But first, Tom and Maddie have to go to Hawaii to go and get married. Maddie's sister, Rachel, is getting married in the film. I really like the actor for Rachel. She really brought a lot of personality. Out of all of the human characters, I think she and Maddie are my favorite. Tom is still good as well, but I mean, honestly, like, I don't know, I kind of feel like they pushed the human characters in this film a little bit too much. I know a lot of the critics that have been coming out about this film as of recent have said that's the only kind of gripe, like there wasn't enough humans in the film. But I think they could have done with a little bit less, because there were some aspects that they were pushing a little bit too much. The family aspect specifically, they really tried to make it as if Sonic was Tom and Maddie's son, and I don't know, that that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Sonic is Sonic. He doesn't have a mom. When has Sonic ever had a mom? Like, even the Sonic Underground, their mom just wasn't there. But that's the conversation for later on down the road. Yeah, we get along with the marriage going on. You know, the actor for Rachel's husband, he was really fun to watch on screen as well. He's kind of like he's a Chad, like handsome, dark skin. You know, he's just doing his thing. And Tom kind of feels a little bit emasculated by him, but it's a whatever thing. Before Tom and Maddie leave, yeah, they tell Sonic to take care of the house. So Sonic and the dog are in the home on their own. And then we cut to a scene of Sonic basically becoming Macaulay Culkin, just doing his own Home Alone thing. That was interesting. You know, a lot of the first act of the film is kind of funny, you know, more lighthearted, just showing how Sonic and his new family interact. And while I like these scenes, I do feel like they were a little bit cheesy. Like, there were some really cheesy jokes. Like Sonic be like, "Oh, cheesy, ugly shirt detected," ha ha ha, while he was scanning them through the ring. I know it's supposed to be funny. In the theater, you know, some of the parents that were watching the film were watching. Probably they were not as familiar with the Sonic ethos as me. And I appreciate that's good for bringing in a wider audience. They spent a lot of money on this film. They need to make sure they make that back. But if they do a third film, definitely please try and lean further into, you know, at least have the jokes be a little bit more grounded. It was really cheesy. It was like a Disney Channel film. But now Tom and Maddie are in Hawaii and Sonic is on his own. He's having fun. You know, they played like a Shabba Ranks song while Sonic was on his own. He was styling his hair all different types of crazy ways. You know, it's just kind of like fun children's film stuff. Speeding up, we get to, you know, he spent like about the first half of the day enjoying himself on his own, and then the energy cuts. Boom! Then he hears a knock on the door, and who else to be at his door but Dr. Robotnik and his new friend Knuckles Yakidna. Oh, in this film, Knuckles is so threatening. my sister again. So, I mean, me and my sisters were terrified. Like, the last time I think Knuckles was this intimidating was the first time we seen him when he knocked the Chaos Embers out of Sonic. Like, this guy was hunting Sonic down. Idris Elba really did his thing with this. He said, "Does it look like I need your power?" He was just throwing Sonic around. He douche. He broke Tom and Maddie's house. Like, he basically dilapidated the whole building, tossed him outside. He was just doing with Sonic whatever he wants. And I really appreciated how hard Sonic had to fight in this film. Usually Sonic, because he's already self-made, he's already, like we said earlier, a flat character. He doesn't really have to struggle for anything too much. But in this film, you quite see him, like, he really puts in the effort to kind of like escape a lot of these situations. And just before Sonic is almost destroyed by Knuckles, who else other than Tails' mouse power to save him? There was an earlier scene where we see that he was looking for Sonic, and he was actually able to show a lot of his tinkering abilities, as he was able to hijack a police car and save Sonic in the nick of time. The chase scene between, I really love also, because how I thought they were going to do it in this film was going to juxtapose Sonic's speed to Knuckles' strength. But Knuckles is fast! Knuckles is fast! Sonic and Tails was in the flipping police car and they couldn't escape Knuckles. At one point, he even started gliding like he does in the games. Like, they really put in the work. It was kind of like watching a Predator versus Alien. Like, Knuckles was scary. Like, he was scary. I thought Sonic was done at it. But luckily, Tails was able to drive the car off of the cliff and carry Sonic away to safety, while Knuckles had to glide back onto the island that they kind of fell off of. And there we see, there we hear that Knuckles is actually after Sonic because he's in search of the Master Emerald, another interesting change to the character. We all know Knuckles as the protector of the Master Emerald, but here he is actually searching for it, and I think that was a nice addition. It kind of gives him a little bit more of a compelling motivation in the film, and I think it actually works with the themes and the pacing of the film, which was cut very quick as well. I noticed that the film is quite fast-paced as well. I appreciated that as well. So Knuckles and Eggman shake their hands. They make that pact. I really enjoyed how Knuckles, because Eggman explains to Knuckles that, this is a Earth, this is a Earth tradition that you shake hands when you make a pact with somebody, and he explains it as it has to be a firm handshake. And Knuckles, because he's not from Earth, he's kind of like a Star Force type character or Starfire type character, where he doesn't really get it, so he crushes Eggman's hand. And he does that to Dr. Stone as well. I think it was really interesting. So the two of them meet up with Eggman's crony from the last film. Eggman's always gotta have cronies. You already know he's always gotta have cronies. I felt like this guy was funny, Dr. Stone. He's just like, he's really the only one that's obsessed with Dr. Eggman. I know a lot of Dr. Eggman's minions actually hate him secretly, but this guy's obsessed with him. He was making lattes with his face in it and shit. Like, I mean, hey man, we all have our heroes, so I guess I can't judge. But the three of them team up, and it kind of becomes a 3-on-2 situation. So at the time that they're linking up trying to find the Master Emerald, Sonic actually gets the backstory from Longclaw, his mother in the first film, about how to find the emerald, because Longclaw's clan of owls was actually responsible for protecting those emeralds, and Sonic was her apprentice, so Sonic has to carry on her will, kind of like One Piece, inherited will, all that stuff. Have you read chapter 145? It's flipping phenomenal. Anyways, Sonic and Tails go to Siberia, and here we really begin to see the character dynamics between the two of them. Tails, at first, I didn't really like how they didn't explain where he came from right off the bat, but I think I warmed up to how they did it as they went along. Tails actually had been watching Sonic due to the EMP outbreak that he made in the first film, And from there, he's kind of been watching him like a YouTuber, or like how Deku kind of watched All Might in My Hero Academia. He's just been watching him from afar and admiring him. And as soon as he found out Knuckles was on his way to get Sonic, he actually took action, and they made him take action and go to help his hero. I like how courageous they made Tails in this film, actually. Maybe in later videos I'll explain my kind of gripes with Tails' character over the years, but they really grasped upon his better characteristics in this film. The voice actor for Tails, the official voice actor from the games, did a phenomenal job as well. Really kind of brought out the masculinity in his voice, when usually Tails kind of sounds like a girl, and I appreciated that. Sonic also appreciates Tails a little bit more in this incarnation, because Sonic doesn't have any friends in this kind of universe. Usually Sonic is a guy who's a loner, he just does his own thing, but he doesn't have any friends, so having somebody that looks up to him gasses him up, and they both kind of feed up of each other's encouragement, and it's good, it's sweet to see. This scene where they're fighting against these guys in a flipping Siberian bar, where they come in first, covered up in winter wear. That was really cute. I really like those character designs. And then when they had to do a dance off against them, and they couldn't do the traditional dances where they were getting sturdy with it, they was getting kind of sturdy with the Siberians, so they had to switch it up and go Bruno Mars 24 karat magic, and they did like a little choreography. Sonic hit the adventure pose, that was kind of cool. All that little type of stuff, they kind of catered to the kids film side of it, and while I appreciate that as well, I actually do think that they did it in a way that anyone could enjoy. It was the first two acts of the film were really funny. I won't lie, they were really comical. But then after Sonic and Tails realized, like, oh wow, like, we're friends, and they really come to appreciate each other, the real adventure begins. They find their way to the temple left behind by Longclaw and her clan, and they're actually able to find the Emerald Shrine. That's where we get the backstory of how the Chaos Emeralds work in this universe. Usually in the classic games, we know the Chaos Emeralds to just be natural phenomena that just come out of the special zones. But in this universe, the Chaos Emeralds actually combine into one object and then become the Master Emerald. And I actually kind of like this interpretation, because it makes sense. Like, a bunch of 7 magical emeralds make one big emerald. Like, it's just kind of cathartic to see that happen. And yeah, it was a really interesting take. Also, the echidnas having a rival tribe, I think, is an interesting aspect as well. In the games and in other media, we know the echidnas to be kind of like a greedy tribe. But to see them actually be stopped by another tribe, I think it's an interesting way of looking at it. I appreciated it. Sonic doesn't take it seriously. Doesn't really take the eons of history about this kind of conflict between these two sides seriously, because he's technically not really a part of it. He's a hedgehog, not an owl. So he's like, oh wow, they fight like Vin Diesel and The Rock. Like, I really like that joke. That joke was good. I like that one. That one stood out to me. Then they get to the Emerald Shrine. The map that Sonic had, which was really good foreshadowing from the first film, because it had all these paintings and illustrations of various other worlds and realms, and codes and things like this, actually became of use. Really good foreshadowing for this film, because he uses the code on the Master Emerald illustration on his map to activate the Emerald locator, the Emerald radar, I guess you would say. Dragon Radar, Emerald Radar, whatever. But Eggman is always one step ahead of them, kind of like how he is in Sonic Adventure 2, and he finds them. He actually goes ahead and says, thanks for doing all the hard work for me. I really like how maniacal and calculated Eggman is in this film. Then we get one of the best scenes in the film, Sonic actually snowboarding down the mountain. That was so cool. My favorite part was when he slowed everything down like Quicksilver, and like that part in the first film where he was in the bar, and he kind of starts doing this acrobatic ballerina thing. That's actually one of my favorite aspects of Sonic. Sonic isn't just fast like the Flash, but he's also agile like Spider-Man and everything like this. So the film's actually done a really good job of bringing all of these aspects out about this flippin' entertaining character. But Knuckles yet again, unrelenting, comes after him and just smacks him. Wait, Knuckles is. Oh, hey, they need to take some notes from the game. The games actually needs to take some notes on how to do Knuckles, because in recent years they've been kind of making him like a buffoon, but here he is threatening, and he actually knocks the rings out of Sonic. They don't do it literally where he starts flashing and stuff like that, but he drops the rings after Knuckles attacks him, and I like that small subtle touch. Don't think I didn't see that. I saw it. And then Knuckles actually gets a hint as to Eggman's true character, because while he hits Sonic, he's able to get a hold of the Emerald Radar and he takes it away, and Eggman starts an avalanche. But instead of Sonic actually going after the Emerald Radar, he first goes to help his new friend Tails, and Knuckles sees that as honorable. He said, the hedgehog went after the radar instead. Went after the fox instead of the radar. Honorable. And then Eggman is like, nerd, he's got friends. And Knuckles is like, I don't like that you just did that. Like, Knuckles likes honor, and Eggman is the most dishonorable guy he's ever seen in his life. He's not feeling him right now. Then Sonic has to run away from the avalanche. He's got no way of escaping. And the only way he's able to escape is by crashing onto the wedding scene, where he ruins Rachel's wedding. And he's then captured by none other than Gun. Gun and Sonic 2? Are they supposed to be in Sonic Adventure 2? Well, if you're not aware, they said that they're not really going to be following the actual timeline of the games, and they're kind of just going to be using all the ideas and iconography all together. And Gun makes his first appearance in this film. They capture Sonic and Tails because they believe them to be extraterrestrial dangers. They capture them, and Maddie, Tom, and Rachel have to unite to kind of set them free. Rachel's just doing it for them ruining her wedding, though, and I really kind of like that motivation more. It's more realistic. Lots of fun scenes where they use the tools in Tails' bag to set them free, and that was really good. Once they're able to set them free, Sonic understands, and he kind of is beginning to take responsibility for others. That thing that Tom said to him in the beginning, Tails actually gets harmed because of his actions and his inactions during the previous scenes, and he decides to take things into his own hands and chase after Knuckles and Robotnik, who have unleashed the Emerald Shrine. I really appreciate how they made it look like an Aztec building, like it is in Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure, not Sonic Adventure 2, but Sonic Adventure as well is what I mean. And I really like how they did that. I appreciated that small little detail touch. Also, I like how they make Sonic have to tackle his fear of the water. He runs across this whole body of water to where the Master Emerald is. And it was really intense. I don't think I've ever seen Sonic struggle that much in a situation. It was really scary for me actually watching it as somebody who's also scared of large bodies of water. But he did what he had to do, and he was able to find his way to the shrine, which is actually, on the outside, while it looks like it's from Sonic Adventure, on the inside, it is actually Labyrinth Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I really like these interesting callbacks and the amalgamation of all of these different tropes and iconography that we've had from all the games. Knuckles and Eggman are able to slowly maneuver their way through traps. I also like how Knuckles kind of just innately knew shortcuts. I feel like they were trying to inspire memories of how Knuckles plays in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, where he's able to take shortcuts because he knows the island. I kind of like that. It seems like that's what they're trying to imply, or maybe that's the way I took it, but I just enjoyed that. And Sonic just went through it the hard way. He just played Labyrinth Zone. I really liked all the spin dashing. Sonic was actually incorporating his whole arsenal: spin dashes, homing attacks, running on walls, parkour, all this different type of stuff. And as they were about to get to the Master Emerald, Sonic and Knuckles have their first real fist fight, and boy, was it intense. Sonic is really trying his hardest to fight Knuckles, but he's just too strong. When he was hitting with the no, that was too sick. It reminded me of Sonic X. That was the first time I seen Knuckles even. I seen in Sonic X where they're fighting on that mountain, and Knuckles is also using a multiple fist attack. It was really cool. Sonic spin that shit on Knuckles again and again and again and again. Really intense battle, really nice choreography. You can really feel the weight behind the blows that each of the two characters throws. And in the meanwhile, Dr. Eggman, being as conniving as ever, captures the Master Emerald and makes his leave. Here we see the temple begin to collapse, and Knuckles becomes stuck under rubble. And Sonic actually does his part, being a hero, and goes to save Knuckles, even though he's afraid of the water. Really, really inspirational character development going on within this kind of like youthful depiction of Sonic, and I really appreciate it. He seems like he's becoming, the hero which we all know already and are all already familiar with. I also really like while he was trying to push Knuckles off, he actually gulped the bubble like he does in the games. They could have done a little bit like put the theme that plays the dun 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 dun. They could have put that in there just to like harken back to that kind of thing that they do from the games. But I feel like seeing that was enough. So he saves Knuckles, and Knuckles swims up because he doesn't know Sonic can't swim, and Sonic begins to lose consciousness, but Knuckles saves him back. The two wash up on the shore and kind of have a talk, because earlier in the snowboard scene, they both kind of relate to one another as they've both lost everything that was dear to them. Knuckles actually lost his tribe because they all apparently died on the day that Longclaw fought them to allow Sonic escape, and Sonic, of course, lost Longclaw. Does that mean Longclaw killed them? You guys need to kind of like do theories and thoughts about that, because that's kind of morbid. But yeah, Sonic and Knuckles bond. Knuckles sees Sonic's honor, and he actually looks up to Sonic as he's able to see light ahead of him, even though he's lost everything already. And Sonic tells Knuckles that he's able to do so because he has a new family, new things to look forward to, and he keeps his optimism up. And the two of them dap it up, and they go to squash that egghead, crack that egghead wide open. Then Tails comes in the biplane, which was actually used as like that thing that they do like in SpongeBob and like in old films where they're like, love you, and they show like the cape on the end of the plane. That's actually where the tornado, Sonic's biplane, comes in this film, and I appreciate that. Then we make our way to the final act of the film. Dr. Eggman is actually able to use Chaos Control for the first time. Now, I know a lot of the parts of this film where the humans and Sonic interact are a little bit cheesy, but there are quite a lot of interesting ideas with the Sonic lore in this film. I really like some of these subtle changes. Like, Eggman has never used the Chaos Emeralds in a game. Even like when he gets them, he just puts them in a robot and the robot does it. But Eggman is actually teleporting using Chaos Control. His voice actually changes to become more mechanical, and he just looks intimidating. His whole new outfit changes as well. Really interesting use of the powers. And he kind of like takes the whole town that Sonic lives in, Green Hills, by storm, literally, and creates this film's version of the Death Egg robot, and he begins to terrorize. It looked like a Megazord kind of, the way he was just kind of like and the robot also had to follow his movements. I really appreciated that. That was really cool. And Sonic tells the Knuckles they all find their way together and begin to squash Eggman. However, Dr. Eggman completely dominates them with the power of the Chaos Emerald, and the three of them have to knock their heads together in order to figure out a way to stop this guy. Sonic realizes that Eggman's most his weakness and his vendetta for him, for defeating him in the first film, which really hurt his ego. And so Sonic uses himself as a scapegoat to try and get Eggman's attention, while Knuckles and Tails try and counterattack from behind. Knuckles also is Knuckles is really over the top in this film with honor and like warrior kind of tropes because he's like Sonic will use his life as a beacon of light for me and Tails to defeat him. Ah, what an honorable death you will have. Da, da, da. And then Sonic's like, you're taking this a little bit too seriously, G. I really appreciate that. Really interested to see these characters work on the screen. They're able to catch Dr. Eggman off guard, knock the Chaos Emerald out of him. Knuckles is really the MVP of this film, as he's able to knock the Chaos Emeralds out of Dr. Robotnik. In a really last desperate ditch effort where Sonic looks like he's down and out for the count, the human characters, Tom and Maddie, actually find a way to save him. And in their time of need, they stay with Sonic, even as Dr. Eggman is about to crush the two of them. Tails and Knuckles are out for the count, and the Master Emerald actually shatters down into its previous forms of the two Chaos Emeralds, and just the emotion from what Tom and Maddie have said to Sonic, and everything that relies on him at this point, he uses that energy and his thoughts. He turns his thoughts into power. The prayer that the Chaos Emerald is actually known for. I'm actually going to be doing a little video on that. Watch out for that. And yeah, he turns his thoughts into powers, and he becomes Super Sonic. Yo, I can't believe they put Super Sonic in this film, bro. I can't believe it. In every form of Sonic media, they always find a way to skip out on Super Sonic. Even in ones that are just close enough, while they'll put Chaos Emerald in there, they'll skip it. I think the Fleetway British comics, the Archie comics, and Sonic X are the only exterior Sonic media that they introduce Super Sonic, and in one of them, Super Sonic is like a separate character, so it doesn't even really count. But no, the true and tried Super Saiyan Sonic is out here, and he messes Dr. Eggman up. The Supersonic scene actually really reminds me of how Supersonic was depicted in Sonic Unleashed, and I feel like Marza Studio has to do with this because I actually saw in some of the credits that they kind of did some of the animation for it, and it was really neat to kind of see all these people who have worked on the Sonic IP over the years kind of come together and make this, theatrical release for everybody to enjoy. My sister really enjoyed how Sonic kind of unzipped Dr. Eggman's head and, just kind of really toyed with his robot, using his power back against him. That was really cathartic and satisfying to see. I just really wish that Sonic would have at least, even if he didn't hit him, because we know Sonic's never actually physically harmed Dr. Eggman before, but even if he could at least just throw him away back into space, I feel like that would have been a more satisfying ending than him just Humpty Dumpty and just falling and cracking wide open, but whatever. And at the end of the day, Sonic, Knuckles warns the two humans yo, Sonic has absorbed the Chaos Emerald. He's no longer the Sonic that you've known from before because of the stories that Knuckles heard while he was younger about somebody who uses the Chaos Emerald's power. But no, Sonic just uses the powers to spawn two chili dogs and then he eats them. That was funny, but still, it's a bit too jokey, but it's okay. I put my hands up for that. And then, they nicely conclude the film. Sonic and his family are back together. That was just the part I really cringed at seeing, especially when Sonic called Tom his dad. Ew, Sonic doesn't have a dad. Sonic was born in the wilderness on his own, and he's just Sonic. Even when they try and describe Sonic's powers, I don't like that sort of thing. Anything that kind of implies to Sonic growing in any sort of way, I don't like that. He's a static character, he's a flat character, just let him be Sonic. Sonic inspires change in people. We don't need to see Sonic change. But for this adaptation of this series, I suppose it is okay, and they've done an okay job with it. At the end of the film, we get to see Sonic, Tails and Knuckles becoming accustomed to human traditions. They're playing baseball together, and the three of them defend the Master Emerald together. And that's how they conclude the film. But just at the end, at the credit scenes, who other than Shadow the Hedgehog to be announced? The way they kind of did it was quite quick paced, and I know the film was edited in that way, but I think they're leaving that as an open end for in case they don't do a third film, because the way they did it is kind of rushed. And also, I heard that Jim Carrey is thinking about retiring soon after this film. So we'll see where things go from there. But all in all, I really do increase my score of the film as I think about it more and more. This was my initial reaction, and I'm giving it like an 8.5 now. I started with a 6.9 because of all the cringe, but as I think back about it, they really did put in the effort for this film. Kid Cudi doing other things that I would like to mention is that the soundtrack was kind of lackluster. They used a lot of weird kind of like just general tracks, tricky, like some of the tracks they used just didn't really make any sense. I feel like they had a little bit more of a rock track, or even sampled some of the tracks from the games. Like I thought they were going to do, when they did the original trailer and they used like Emerald Hill Zone. I thought they were going to do that sort of thing, but they didn't use any of the leitmotifs from the games, which really would have added to that kind of like, oh, this is for Sonic fans, that kind of like feel. But I did like Kid Cudi's track that he did for the song. I'll be singing it all night. Stay the night in my zone. Cutter, you already know. Shout out to him. Apart from that, again, the family, pushing the family thing, like, you can say they're family, like found family, but Sonic doesn't have to call Tom his dad. That's a bit much. But apart from that, everything else in the film was really well put together. You can see they spent money on this thing. I can't believe they got the budget to be able to depict Super Sonic in the way they did. It was quite phenomenal. And seeing all these characters on the big screen, it just goes to show the strength behind their design. This has been a review by RPZ Raphael _Fali on Instagram. Go and see some of my music that I release if you enjoy this video. Also, I release Attack on Titan reviews with my cousin and a few of our friends every week. The final episode of the final season is about to come out for Shinjeki no Kyojin. If you're interested in that, go see that on Johnny Lorenzo's channel. And apart from that, just subscribe to this channel, as I actually plan to do future diagnosis and dissections and analysis of games, films, media, Sonic, Dragon Ball, anime, and everything else of that sort. Thank you for taking the time to listen to what I had to say today, and have yourselves a damn good one.